The third of 5 ways to stack up an extra $1,000,000. In this episode, I'm going to address the question, how to use systematic accumulation. And I'm going to show you how to do it totally tax-free. So my name's Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist, a retirement planning specialist now for north of 48 years. And I've been very blessed in my life to have authored 12 books thus far. And we had a New York Times and Wall Street Journal #1 bestseller in 2007. But my most recent book that is just flying off of the warehouse shelves is called The Laser Fund: How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement, but also how to have a working capital account. And in this book, I talk about several ways to accumulate $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. But I love showing my audiences when I speak how to stack up an extra $1,000,000. So in this episode, get ready. I am going to show you how just with systematic accumulation, you can set aside a monthly amount out of your income if you don't have a lump sum. And how by doing that, you can accumulate an extra $1,000,000 on top of whatever you're doing with your 401k or whatever, or maybe in place of your 401k, because this is far better than a 401k, and how you can accumulate over $1,000,000 in 10 years. Using very predictable, safe rates of return. And as I show you this, I want you to understand the concept that whenever you accumulate money, you'll be far better off if it accumulates tax-free, not tax-deferred, and that you can access it tax-free in case you need it. So get ready. There's no penalties when you access money. You don't have to time the market or anything. I will explain all of that in this episode. So here we go. Now, if this is already intriguing you, I would share it with somebody that you think ought to benefit from this. But let's talk about systematic accumulation. Now, the convenient time to set aside money never comes to anyone. One of the secrets to wealth accumulation is having a system. That's why we call it systematic accumulation. To learn to live on less than what you earn. That's really the traits of those who begin to arrive at the state of financial independence. So let's say you are earning enough money and you're able to take care of your needs and what have you, and you finally are disciplining yourself to be able to sock away a certain amount on a monthly basis. Now, I don't care if it's $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Some people say, whoa, I don't have that much. It's not what you begin with that counts, it's what you end up with. But here's the key. So many times people will participate in their employer's 401k. And they will put in maybe up to the max, maybe 15%, because you can only put in a certain dollar amount or a certain percent of your income. Your employer might match you, whatever. But when they learn about my favorite instrument that I'll disclose at the end of this episode, that I call the Laser Fund, they go, that's way better than an IRA or 401k. Yep. And so sometimes they'll reallocate underperforming assets or a 401k or an IRA that is subject to market volatility and taxes down the road. When you retire, you're going to have to pay tax on that stuff. Let's say you want to accumulate your money tax-free. You want to be able to access it tax-free, not pay tax when you retire like you do on IRAs or 401ks. And if you happen to die, that anything you leave behind will blossom or increase in value and transfer tax-free to your heirs, your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, maybe a church, a charity, or whatever. Now, there is only one thing in the Internal Revenue Code that allows you to do that. And that is a max-funded insurance contract, and not just any. You must structure it correctly and fund it properly. And I use IUL, Indexed Universal Life, where you're taking the least amount of insurance and putting in the most money the IRS allows, and it will turn into a tax-free cash cow. This is where I have earned average rates of return since 1997 of 9.62%. Let's just round that down to 9.6. Now, if you understand the rule of 72, now, before I tell you what the rule of 72 is, is if this is resonating with you, be sure and subscribe to this channel because I have a lot of educational videos here that'll blow you away. But the rule of 72 says whatever interest rate you're earning, let's say on your money, you divide that number into 72. So let's say you're earning 5%. Your money will double if you started out with a lump sum. Okay, this is for lump sums. Your money will double in about 14.4 years. If your money's sitting in a bank or credit union, when you're watching this episode at 1% interest, it's going to take 72 years. And you're going to have to pay tax as you go. So you're not going to even get double your money back because they're going to make you pay tax on it every year. That's the worst way to save, but the most common way Americans save. If you sock away money, you divide the interest rate you're earning into 72. 8% into 72, your money doubles every 9 years. 9%, it doubles every 8 years. 7.2%, your money will double every 10 years. If you're earning 10%, it will double every 7.2 years. So at 9.6%, if I started out with a lump sum, it will double in 7.5 years. So if I socked away 100 grand, it'll be worth 200 grand in 7.5 years. 500,000 will double to $1 million in 7.5 years. A lot of people don't have lump sums, so they have to use systematic accumulation. So let's say that you discipline yourself and you reposition where you're putting money that's not performing very well, like an IRA or 401k or in a bank or credit union earning less than 1%. You can extrapolate from my example whether you have more money that you can save systematically or less. Let's just use $5,000 a month. So if you take $5,000 a month and you put it into an instrument that allows you to accumulate your money tax-free, and anytime you need it, you can take it out tax-free. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half. There's no IRS penalties in my favorite instrument called the Laser Fund. $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. You do that for 120 months or 10 years. Now, $5,000 a month at 9.6% interest for 10 years will grow to $1,001,087. Okay? That's one way to stack up $1 million. It's actually pretty simple. $5,000 a month, 9.6%, you'll have $1 million in 10 years. This is really the simplest way to do it if you don't have a lump sum to start with. Now, I have other episodes on this channel that talk about how to sort of kickstart that by using assets that maybe you don't even know you have. But if you don't have any other assets, start saving, whether it's $500 a month, $1,000 a month, or $5,000 or $10,000 a month. Extrapolate from my example. But at just $5,000 a month at 9.6, you'll have $1 million. But that $1 million, if you use the Laser Fund, will be totally tax-free. Now, $1 million earning 9.6% would allow you to pull out $96,000 a year without depleting the $1 million. $96,000 is $8,000 a month. You pull out $8,000 a month tax-free in retirement or whatever, and it'll last as long as you do if you live to be 120. It's tax-free. This is not a loophole. This is a sacred cow in the Internal Revenue Code that's been protected for over 108 years in 3 sections of the code, sections 72E, 7702, and 101A. This is all explained in my book. And so when you understand this concept, you don't have to time the market. Your money is not at risk in the market. You're using a strategy called indexing, where you participate when the economy and the market is doing well, going up. But if the market crashes, which it does probably every 3 to 8 years on the average, you will not lose. And people go, is this legit? You bet. So how can you learn more? The first step is to claim your free copy of this book, The Laser Fund. This will teach you how to diversify and create the foundation for a tax-free retirement. It's actually 2 books in one. This white-covered side is 200 pages, 14 chapters with all these charts and graphs and explanations, and you'll see how something like $5,000 a month, $1,000 a month, lump sums grow at safe, predictable rates of return in that 7 to 10% range. I've actually now averaged over 11, but ever since 1997, when indexing was first introduced, I've averaged 9.6. you'll see how there. Now, if you're not sort of into numbers, you're into stories, you simply flip the book over to this side. And this one has about 100 pages, with 12 chapters, with 62 chicken soup for the financial soul stories. If you want to use your whole brain, right brain and left brain, I would recommend you read both books. But this will be your starter kit to becoming a millionaire. And this episode is just one of 5 ways on this channel how you can stack up an extra $1 million that can generate at the end of the day, you don't have to wait till you retire, 80, 90,000, $8,000 a month of tax-free income without depleting principal based on actual history. So to claim your free copy of the Laser Fund book, go to laserfund.com, L-A-S-E-R fund.com, or click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that. I'll pay for the book and fire it out to you. There's also options there to listen and learn, watch and learn. There's even areas where you can join us for educational webinars. But here is to your brighter future.